such. Many times during the course of the last 1 year of writing, one question which was raised to me by many was, as an author, who am I targeting the book for? Because a conventional approach is that we have to first have a targeted audience in mind and then go about furnishing or polishing the book towards that audience. Truthfully, I've never angled this book towards any particular audience. In the first place, Yoga Sutras, the author is Sage Patanjali. I am a commentator. As a commentator, my focus is to give as truthful a rendition as possible of the sutras. If I try to write it towards a particular audience, perhaps I would have to make compromises. So this is, to the best of my ability, just an effort to give a truthful commentary based on Vyasa's first commentary. But having said so, I really believe that Yoga Sutras is for everyone. Because Sage Patanjali and Vyasa are talking about aspects which are there in everyone. If someone writes a book with perhaps how to fly a plane, then we can say it is meant for people in that line. But when Patanjali and Vyasa are talking about consciousness, mind, thoughts, happiness, suffering, this, if you look, you're all, like we can say, 700 people, but if you look just a bit within into the mind, it's the same pulse which all of us are sharing. We all want to move towards happiness and away from suffering and discomfort. It is common to all. If there is someone out there who is constantly and eternally in bliss, full of wisdom, then perhaps you don't need to read Yoga Sutras. But otherwise, if you're like most of us, you know that happiness and misery, then exuberance and despondence, attraction and aversion, all these come together or flow together. Sometimes it may be very close, sometimes they'll be apart a bit longer. But we cannot change them. They all happen in one's life. Like the changing colors of the sky. Morning will be one color, afternoon another color, night another color. Nothing can be done about it. But untouched by the changing colors of the sky is the pure space of the sky. Nothing happens to the pure space of the sky. We can blast the most powerful bomb, but the space is untouched, totally beyond any corruption. Patanjali and Vyasa and other gurus say, behind these changing fluctuations of the mind, there is like the unlimited space of the sky, deep within, beyond the reach of the senses, beyond mind, is a state of consciousness which is pure and which is untouched, which is pure witness, which is pure intelligence, which is pure energy. And they say that is your true self, not the small name form identity which we all tend to identify as. And the Yoga Sutras is for connecting you to that essence of yourself. Having said that, it is difficult to get connected to that by 1 or 2 readings. Because Yoga Sutra, this book, once you start reading, many of you, I know you'll come back to and say that it's a little bit heavy, it's a bit difficult to digest. So it is here that our thoughtful editor, Kwan, coined the name as making Patanjali palatable. So we are using the word palatable in that sense. Initially this title, when I sounded it to some of the faces frowned a bit, because palatable, the word not only creates sound, it creates a form. So palatable comes very well with tasty food. And against palatable, you put a very revered sage like Patanjali, some people will think whether that is appropriate. So like in the earlier presentation we were showing, Patanjali lived thousands of years back. There is no material remains of him. What survives is his spirit, which shines through his teachings, his wisdom. And that is what we are trying to absorb. That cannot be eaten. So palatable, when we put, it is just making it a bit more friendlier to the intellect. So when you get the sutras, please don't just read it. You have to really sink into it, contemplate. Then only the sutras will speak to you. For example, now all of you are sitting. After a while you leave. Then you are just sitting. But if I ask you, are you aware of which sit bone you are more heavy? Are you aware of the curvature of the spine? Are you aware which direction you are leaning? Then, if you respond to it, the sitting gets transformed into observation, into reflection. Only then, when you will leave with some insights. You'll get an idea of your tendency of your spine, tendency of your pelvis, all that. So similarly, sutras, you don't just read. The verses will connect to you, but you have to sink. So now, we come to the last event of the night, the